Okay, now we start to load the ink to the printer. So first we must be sure the general power switch is off and the general power here is not installed. It just means the machine must be power off before we load the ink. And also for the white ink, the knob must off. Power off the saturation switch. Power off general power. Then we start to load the ink to the ink tank. Then we start to load the ink to the ink tank. First the black, then say magenta, yellow, let's say that magenta, and then the white ink at the right side. So first we find the black ink with BK. We check it before we open the package for each color. Then we remove the cover. Before we fill the ink, we must take some tissue and connect with the metal to prevent the ink is leaking out, like this. Then we fill to the tank. Before we fill the tank, we must be sure inside is empty, is clean, without any dust. We fill full of it. Then we open the package. The cover cannot open too much, not loose, not tighten, but a little bit loosen. If you close it, then the air cannot go inside and the ink cannot go to the print head. So we loosen a little bit after we finish the filling. The ink, once you open the package, you must run it out within 3 to 6 months. If the ink open and you without running out more than 6 months, it's easy to cause the print quality. Then we fill the same, also shaking it before we load the ink. We fill it to the tank. Then fill the magenta. And then yellow. Then let's say LC. Remember that if your machine, the printing head is epsilon 3200, then it will not have LC/LM color. Then let magenta. Then we can start to load the white ink. For the white ink, before we load the ink, we must check in about 2 minutes with different direction to be sure the white ink inside is equal. If lantern not used, we must put the white ink at this direction will stay about 1 week. And then after 1 week, we go back at this direction to be sure the white ink will not settle inside. Then we open it. And then we must use the clean tissue. Go with the round screwdriver, we clean it. And then we check. Use the screwdriver to check it to be sure the white ink is equal inside. Like this. Check it about 1 minute and the cycle direction. Then we fill to the ink tank. Open the ink tank. Here, then fill to the tank. Please remember that when you load ink, we must cut down the power of the printer and be sure the water ink separation knob is closed. The water ink tank is 500 milliliter. It's bigger than color. Okay, so this is the procedure to load the color for the tank to the printer. Just remember the cover cannot tighten too much. Must be loosened a little bit up below the ink.